What is the next book that you brought with you
The next
today?
book that I bought is our only nonfiction out of our 6.
Oh, this one sounds really good, yeah.
And it's narrative nonfiction, which is one of my favorites. So it reads like fiction, and it's called Furious Hours, and it's by Casey Cep. Casey Cep is a journalist, and she's been a contributing writer to both The New Yorker, The New York Times, and The New Republic, and this is actually her debut novel. I could not put it down. So it's sort of a meld. It's a true crime mystery biography, and it's following 3 different threads of 3 different people. It's taking place in Alabama during the late 1970s, and the 3 different individual narrative threads is, the first is accused serial murderer Reverend Willie Maxwell, who throughout his lifetime has been brought to trial multiple times, accused of murder, and never brought to justice. He's never actually convicted. Wow. And the reason for that is for insurance fraud.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s, you could buy insurance policies on anybody, and you didn't have to necessarily even be related to them.
That's so crazy.
So you've got Willie Maxwell. Then you've got lawyer Tom Radney, who is an up-and-coming lawyer and wannabe sort of politician in the area. And he, over the course of the multiple trials for Willie Maxwell, was actually his defense attorney. And then he becomes, ironically, the defense attorney for the gentleman, Robert Burns, who was accused of murdering Willie Maxwell at the funeral of Robert Burns' sister. So you've got that thread. And then, of course, the last one is for anybody who has cherished To Kill a Mockingbird through the generations, you have Harper Lee's sort of mini biography, and she was actually the researcher for her literary friend Truman Capote's In Cold Blood. She actually didn't finish law school. She hit the road with him and did research for that, and had always wanted to do a true crime book of her own. And so she actually was sitting in on the trials when she found out about Willie Maxwell. She sat in on the trials and started writing a manuscript called The Reverend, which to this day nobody has uncovered.
Oh, wow.
And really wanted to set the bar high for herself, or even higher in some cases than In Cold Blood. It is, it's too bad that there's not, darn, start over.
Oh.
Don't worry, I'll cut that part out.
You'll cut that part out, that's good.
I'll cut out the pause, so just you get your words.
And Harper Lee wasn't necessarily just a one-hit wonder, even though it was viewed that way. You had, Go Set the Watchman come out in her later life, and some people argue, was that really her that wanted it published? Was it the publishing company? And that was sort of the prequel to Kill a Mockingbird. But The Reverend was what she really wanted to finish.
Yes.
And she struggled with depression, she struggled with alcoholism. I would say from this biography, maybe some agoraphobia. She moved back and forth between the end of her life, between both Monroeville, Alabama, where Mockingbird was set, and New York City. But this is just meticulously researched. Cep really took on what Harper Lee wanted to actually do.
Yeah.
And I think she did it really well. It received multiple star reviews.
Yeah.
And Adam Morgan of Longread says, fascinating, addicting, and unbearably suspenseful.
Oh,
and I just kept on turning the pages.
Yeah, that sounds really great. I mean, they're so complex. Thank you you did a great job summarizing, but that sounds really amazing. I hope people really like it.